On the morning of March 26, a strong earthquake struck Beijing, with significant shaking felt in districts like Daxing, Fengtai, and Chaoyang and Dongcheng. Some high-rise buildings swayed noticeably. People in their sleep suddenly felt their beds shaking. At first, they were confused, but quickly realized it was an earthquake. Many were so startled that they rushed downstairs in their pajamas, unable to even put on their shoes. The unexpected tremor caught everyone off guard.
What? 北京地震了是吗？
Was that an earthquake in Beijing? I felt the building shaking. I thought I was dreaming.
我现在挺害怕的。
I was sitting on the sofa, and suddenly I was jolted. The air conditioner moved, and the whole room shook, even the doors. This was the first time I felt an earthquake, and it was really scary. It shook me right off the sofa.
刚刚我就是蹲在这儿上厕所，突然我就感觉马桶剧烈晃动了起来。
I was sitting on the toilet when I felt the toilet shake violently. At first, I thought the neighbor upstairs was using water or taking a bath, but then I realized it couldn't be that loud, even if it was a bathtub leak. I felt the whole building shaking. I quickly understood it was an earthquake. I checked my Huawei phone, and it showed the earthquake was a 4.6 magnitude, though later it was corrected to 4.2. Even at that level, I can't imagine how intense a 7 or 8 magnitude earthquake must be. I feel terrified just thinking about those who were at the epicenter.
我的天哪，刚刚北京地震了。
I heard a crack in the wall, and my bed shook. I thought, who's so strong that they can make a wall crack? Then I realized the bed was shaking too. I posted about it online, thinking maybe it wasn't an earthquake, but then I checked my earthquake alert and realized it was real. It was only 40 kilometers away.
楼下不少人啊。
There are a lot of people downstairs, scared out of their minds. I smoked a cigarette to calm down. This is the first time I felt such a strong shake.
A netizen shared a video of the earthquake, saying, I work at a building where the whole structure was shaking, and the noise was terrifying. After the quake, some Beijing residents posted videos showing cracks in their walls near the windows. Some online commentators explained that a 4.2 magnitude earthquake is considered minor. In Beijing, the intensity typically ranges from 3 to 4. While this usually doesn't cause serious damage to modern earthquake-resistant buildings, it can still cause noticeable shaking. Older buildings or those with poor construction quality might experience stress from the seismic waves, leading to cracks, especially at corners or around windows. According to official reports, the earthquake, which occurred at 1:21 a.m. on March 26, had a magnitude of around 4.4 and was centered near Langfang, Hebei, at a depth of 20 kilometers. It was later adjusted to 4.2. By 7 a.m. on March 26, there had been 3 aftershocks, with the largest measuring 2.9. The epicenter was just 55 kilometers from Beijing, which caused a strong reaction in the city. Many netizens commented on social media that it was the strongest tremor they had felt in over 20 years in Beijing. Some said their homes shook so violently that collectibles fell off the shelves. Others mentioned feeling the tremor early in Fengtai, with alarms going off on their phones, prompting them to quickly run downstairs. A few mentioned their pets, with one person saying their bird was flying around wildly in its cage during the quake. According to multiple videos circulating online, when the earthquake hit, many students at universities in Beijing rushed to leave their dorms and sought safety outside. One video showed a large group of girls trapped in their dorms, seemingly waiting for someone to open the door. A student commented, "They won't open the door, so we need to contact the counselor first." The aftershocks of the earthquake weren't over when another post sparked widespread discussion online. It described how students were blocked from escaping the dormitory due to face recognition gate systems. A student shared that during the earthquake, their first instinct was to run out of the dorm. However, when they reached the entrance, they found that nearly everyone in the building was stuck at the door or in the hallway because they had to use face recognition to pass through the gates. Some netizens criticized the situation, saying, "Students couldn't escape the dorm. This is even more dangerous. If there were a fire, the consequences would be unimaginable. I hope the school takes this seriously." This earthquake brought attention to a serious issue. This time it might have been a close call. What about next time? Back in 2019, a similar situation occurred at Chongqing University when students were forced to queue to use face recognition to leave their dorm during an earthquake. The school claimed the side door wasn't open. In 2024, a fire at Qilu University of Technology also saw students held up by gate systems, with the school responding, "We have to use face recognition to ensure student safety." This kind of response was criticized. The fact that so many students' lives were essentially locked behind a smart gate system begs the question, are these systems saving lives or putting them at risk? After the earthquake in Beijing on March 26, a loud explosion was reported late that night in a rural area in Changping.
It was 11:30 p.m. on the 26th. I went downstairs to walk my dog. The night was very quiet, and then I heard a loud bang. I've heard similar explosions in Ukraine before, and this was definitely an underground explosion. It's strange. Just 20 hours after the earthquake, this huge explosion happened. There were many fire trucks and ambulances. This is the fourth ambulance I've seen. The trucks went down this dark alley. I was too scared to go in. The noise was so intense.
The well-known blogger Warzone Old Goo posted a video from the scene. He filmed a large rescue truck parked by the roadside, bearing the words, Beijing Changping Fire Rescue Team. Curious, he approached the entrance of the alley and asked a firefighter and a plainclothes officer what happened. The two didn't answer directly, instead saying, it's nothing, just walk your dog. Then they quickly moved into the alley. Old Goo commented, it's so mysterious, they didn't tell me anything. Then he saw a large fire truck driving down the alley filled with firefighters.
There are people all over it. Oh my god, they're going into the wilderness. I don't even know where this place is, and it's a place I'm too scared to go into. Why would there be an explosion in the middle of nowhere?
Later, he saw several police cars also driving into the area.
The police cars are going in too, a whole bunch of them. What kind of cars are these? I've never seen these before. Some of them look like fire trucks, a bunch of cars in the wilderness. Did you see that?
Old Goo didn't capture the sound of the explosion, but a video later emerged online from the Chaoyang district, showing continuous loud noises on March 27th. Another netizen posted, at 12:56 p.m. on March 27th, there was a sudden loud noise, and the windows and doors shook. This has been happening a lot lately. What's going on? A female Beijing netizen posted a video on Douyin, reminding everyone to remember the Beijing earthquake and stay alert for the possibility of another one. In the video description, she wrote, the loud noise during the day has faded away, suggesting that the authorities might be covering up the incident. Multiple netizens recorded loud, unexplained noises in Beijing on March 27th, indicating that these sounds were different from the ones heard in Changping the night of March 26th, though there might be a connection. After the earthquake, the public became more sensitive to unusual phenomena. The explosion sounds in Changping in particular prompted authorities to dispatch large numbers of fire trucks and police cars to secure the scene, which has led to widespread speculation among netizens. They said, nothing small happens in Beijing, and it's strange there was no alarm. Some netizens speculated boldly, saying it could be an underground military accident, or maybe it was an ammunition depot explosion, and the wilderness is full of military zones. One analysis suggested that underground explosions typically happen in two scenarios, either an accident involving public transportation, since Beijing's subway network is extensive and some lines pass through Changping, or an accident in a military underground facility. The large number of fire trucks, police cars, and ambulances seem to exceed the usual response scale for a typical subway accident. Others mentioned that in January 2025, the Financial Times reported on the suspected construction of a massive military command center located 30 kilometers southwest of Beijing. This facility, possibly 10 times larger than the Pentagon, uses deep underground bunkers known as the Beijing military cities. The area contains several deep excavations, and military experts believe they may be intended for large, reinforced bunkers, possibly for use by military leaders in case of nuclear war. Several U.S. officials revealed that intelligence agencies were closely monitoring the area, estimating that major construction would begin mid-2024. Experts noted that at least 100 cranes were involved in the project, and there were connected tunnels between the underground structures. Despite the heavy construction, there were no visible signs of military personnel or equipment, but there were signs warning against drone operations or photography, with guards emphasizing that entry was forbidden. The Beijing military city, reported on by the Financial Times, is located not too far from Changping, with a straight-line distance of about 20 to 35 kilometers. Changping itself has several military facilities, including a military base near Jiandu Mountain. The Beijing Military City project might be part of the same military network, though the explosion's location might have been in an independent facility within Changping. As for the multiple unusual loud noises in Beijing, the authorities have not commented so far, and the lack of official information has led to conspiracy theories. Some analysts believe that the events might involve sensitive projects, such as military facilities or underground engineering, ones that the authorities are unwilling to disclose. Others think the authorities may be trying to avoid public panic, especially after the earthquake, when social tensions were already high. As a massive city, Beijing's underground development and military construction could pose potential risks, which heightens public unease and speculation. Although the earthquake near Beijing was relatively mild in magnitude and depth, its impact was widespread. In addition to Beijing, the epicenter in Hebei's Langfang, Shijiazhuang, Shong'an New Area, and Tianjin also felt the tremors. According to the China Earthquake Network Center's report, there have been 8 earthquakes of magnitude 3 or higher within 200 kilometers of the epicenter in the past 5 years. This 4.2 magnitude earthquake is the strongest among them. A netizen in Tianjin shared, "Around 1:22 a.m., I felt an earthquake, at least magnitude 3 to 3.5. The bed suddenly shook north to south, and I was startled. I realized it was an earthquake and quickly got up to turn on the lights and check." Another person from Tianjin wrote, "I was just about to fall asleep when it felt like the bed was violently shaken. I heard the phone alarm in the living room and realized it was an earthquake. The wind outside was howling." Some were concerned that this earthquake might be a sign of a larger one to come, wondering if it was a precursor to a big earthquake in Beijing. The Chinese authorities quickly launched a public opinion stabilization campaign, censoring related information. Official media even issued a rumor debunking report, stating, "According to consultations from the Beijing Earthquake Bureau and other departments, the short-term precursors of a significant earthquake in Beijing are not evident, and the possibility of an earthquake of magnitude 5 or greater is very low." Apart from Langfang, several other areas in Hebei have also experienced earthquakes recently. On March 27th at 7:30 p.m., a 2.8 magnitude earthquake occurred in Changzhou, Hebei, with a depth of 10 kilometers. The very next day, at 7:44 a.m., a 2.5 magnitude earthquake hit Gubei District, Tangshan, Hebei, with a depth of 11 kilometers. Despite the minor tremor, many people still felt something unusual. Many netizens commented, "Tangshan had another earthquake? How scary! This reminds me of the 1976 major earthquake. It feels like Hebei is entering a period of seismic activity. Can experts explain why there have been small quakes in Hebei these days?" When Tangshan residents hear the word earthquake, many feel a tightness in their chests, as the 7.8 magnitude earthquake in 1976 is deeply etched in memory. That earthquake, with a shallow depth of only 6 kilometers, released energy equivalent to 400 atomic bomb explosions like those dropped on Hiroshima. It caused widespread disruptions in transportation, communications, water, and power, leveling the entire city of Tangshan. The quake's effects were felt across 14 provinces, severely affecting Beijing and Tianjin. Official data released by the Chinese government states that 242,000 people died, and over 164,000 were severely injured. In 2020, the government revised the death toll, suggesting that nearly 260,000 people died and over 500,000 were injured, with 7,218 households in Tangshan completely wiped out. The Tangshan earthquake remains one of the most severe seismic disasters in Chinese and human history, and its social impact is still felt in the region today, even after half a century.